Why? Where'd you go?
Oh, real quick, while everybody's online and we have the office, Bear Valley Electric scam. Are you guys all aware of what's going on with that?
No.
It happened to me yesterday. I got a call personally and they're like, oh, you didn't pay your bill. I'm like, nah, it's not me. I hung up. But on one of my listings, they sent me a text and said, call this number. We were by 402 Glenwood, and named my client's name and everything, and said, we're going to shut the electricity off within 30 minutes. Our tech's out there, and I called the number, and they said, oh yeah, it's due to non-payment, and they got the client's name and everything. And so I called my client immediately and said, hey, call Bear Valley, call this 800 number. And he called me back about 30 minutes later and said it's a scam. He goes, because everything's been paid, it's auto draft. But people that are not savvy enough to look into it, they're getting scammed. So be careful if you get an email text from Bear Valley Electric.
All of our teams got called.
Well, Edison, they did that to me and I was laughing. I'm all, they don't call to tell you they're going to shut you off. They just shut you off. They don't care. There's no nice courtesy phone call.
Yeah. Shit bags.
All right. Well, let's see. It'll work now.
It is perfectly fine to know the theory of how Instagram works, its algorithm, and all that kind of stuff. But if you don't actually understand the app itself, if you don't know what the different feeds are, where users may or may not see your content, if you don't get the full walkthrough of how to use the app, then you're going to always be coming up short in terms of fully stepping into your Instagram strategy. So we're going to take some time and we're going to do a feeds flyover. What does that mean? It means I just want to walk you through the app in terms of how it functions and where your followers or non-followers, i.e. soon to be your followers, may be able to see your content. So first and foremost, I have here my handy dandy iPhone looking at my Instagram app, and I am currently looking at my profile, but over on the left, you'll see a little home icon. I'm going to tap that, and this is my main feed. And I see a combination of photos. I see some ads coming in sponsored by State Farm. I see videos, vertical videos, all kinds of videos. I see different clips. I see all kinds of different content in my main feed. It's called the home feed of Instagram. Now, if I tap the Instagram icon on the top left, I actually have two views of that feed. I can see following or favorites. By default, it's set to following. What that means is it's the default feed. It means they're going to show me all the various content of the people I follow, plus ads. Plus, they may actually drip in some suggestions from time to time, but they call it following. So it just, following means default. It's the default feed, but there's also a favorites feed. So you have the ability to mark the accounts that you want to see their stuff prioritized. You can mark them as favorites, and you can actually filter your feed so it's only showing you the favorites. So again, the options here are following, that's the default feed, or favorites, which you have to manually select who's going to be your favorite and who's not going to be your favorite. And those are the different views of the main feed on Instagram. Now, next, let's go back up to the top of this feed. I'm still on the home section of Instagram, but you'll notice all the little circles with people's faces kind of arrayed from left to right across the top, and sometimes they have pink little circles around them that indicates that they have a new story published. So I actually can scroll from left to right, and these are all the people I follow and their stories. Again, that little pink circle is an indicator that they have a story. Whenever they add a new story to their account for the day, they tend to refresh to the front of the line. So you can actually add stories periodically throughout the day. So if I click one here, here's Shane Bergman, and he's got this story. And in fact, I can actually just put my thumb on the glass and I can park it. I can pause it right in place. And then if I want to navigate to Shane's next story, I just tap the right side of the glass. I can pause it. If I want to go back to his last story, I can tap the left side of the glass. Very simple. If I want to go to the next story from the next creator, I actually just swipe from left to right, and now it's telling me these are suggested accounts that I should follow. So sometimes Instagram drops little bits and nuggets in there. In this case, they're like, hey, you should maybe follow those people. I can swipe again. And now I'm at Tom Ferry Stories, and again, you see this little progress bar just across the top. It looks like a perforated line. Every little dot actually represents a different story. So Tom, as you look at this, has clearly got a lot of stories. And remember, stories disappear after 24 hours. So they automatically fall off. And whenever Tom adds a new story, if I haven't viewed his latest story, remember, he goes to the front of the line again in that stories feed for me one more time. So I can, again, just kind of tap through, tap, tap. I can pause it in place. And then when I'm done looking at Tom's stories, I simply grab the glass with my thumb and I throw it down and I'm back in that main home feed. So there's a major incentive to keep adding stories periodically throughout the day, because as your followers watch one and then it kind of slides you off the line, when you add another one, you go back to the front of the line. And remember, interaction equals visibility. So every single time they're looking at your stories, they're actually signifying to the algorithm that they want to see more of you. So you're actually, by adding stories all day, every day, you're basically training your audience to prioritize your content in all their respective feeds. Now, our next feed to look at is called the Explore page. It's the magnifying glass, and these are not accounts that I follow. This is suggestions and recommendations from Instagram of what I should look at, and it's kind of more of a mosaic or a grid, less of a feed. So if I hit the magnifying glass, I see all kinds of stuff here. I see reels and photos and videos and just stuff that it thinks I might be interested in. And then it's got even some tags up at the top, like it's got cozy home. And then it shows me kind of a mosaic or a grid of cozy home, and a lot of it's reels, a lot of it's photos. There's a combination of different types of media, but that's the Explore page. And the Explore page is also where you conduct searches. So I'm going to go back out of this cozy home, and I can click the search bar. And it shows me my recent searches, but I can also just search for, it says search cupcake decorating, or search whatever I want. I could search keywords, I could search hashtags, and the Explore page has two primary functions. First, it's how you find content. You can search for it by keywords, by hashtags, and so forth. It's discovery for users. The other major function of an Explore page, though, is actually Instagram's ability to curate or suggest to you what it thinks you might be interested in. So it's you seeking content, but it's also Instagram suggesting content to you. It works in both directions. Now, the last feed to talk about is the Reels feed. It's also the newest feed. So I simply tap that little play icon on our lower menu there in the footer, and it's basically just full bleed vertical videos on Instagram. They're short form vertical videos. And the way I navigate through this section of Instagram is I literally just swipe from bottom to top, and I pull it to the next video, 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 the next video. Like, do you get the idea of it's a scroll-based platform? It's a feed. And so attention is so fleeting. We're going to talk about that in terms of how do I grab someone's attention right out of the gate, because their modality is they are scrolling through content. Now, I can also engage with it. I can heart and like, and I can comment, and I can share, and I can tap to view the caption and interact with the content as if it's a regular post. So there you have it, the four major feeds on Instagram. We've got the home feed, the Explore page, the stories feed, the Reels feed. And the reason we're focusing on those four sections is because that's where people may or may not see your content. So we're going to focus our strategy around getting your content seen and discovered by potential viewers, followers, and ultimately clients. Now let's talk about how to actually publish posts, reels, stories, and just how do we make content on Instagram. So first and foremost, let's start with a post. I want to show you the many different ways you can get to setting up a post. There's actually like 3 ways to do it, at least. First one is, here I am in the home section, and across that top toolbar, I see a little plus icon. I'm going to tap that plus icon, and I've got options. I can do a post, a story, a reel, or a live. So it's giving me its menu of types of content it can receive from me. Posts, stories, reels, lives. There are some other things like shopping and guides that we're not going to cover in this course, but the main core 4 are posts, stories, reels, and lives. And a post could be a video or an image, just so we're clear on that. That's the first way I can access it. I'm going to tap that to go away, and now I'm going to tap on my face in the lower right-hand corner to access my profile. And just like before in the home section, I can tap that plus button in the top right corner, only it's going to give me some extra options because we're on my profile. Some of them will or won't apply to our conversation today. So I hit that plus icon, and I see reel, post, story, same old stuff, story highlight because we're on my profile, live, and then some extra goodies in there that we're not going to cover in this course. But that's the second way of being able to post content to Instagram. Now, the last way, the way I probably prefer best, is I tap the home button. I make sure I'm in the home feed again. I'm literally going to swipe from left to right, and then it pulls up sort of a starting point for creating any kind of content on Instagram. So here I am in the studio making videos, and across the very bottom footer, it reads post, story, reel, or live. Those are my 4 main types of content, and this is where I would go to create any of those forms of content. Now, here I am. I'm getting ready to go through the sections of actually making a post. There's going to be 3 different screens we go through, and I'll walk you through each one, but this is where I select my media. A post is multimedia. I can select an image or a graphic, so it could be like a JPEG or a PNG, whatever's in my camera roll. I could also select a video. So an Instagram post is multimedia. I can also select multiple images or videos and do what's called a carousel through an IG post. So in the middle toward the right-hand side of the screen, there's a little kind of a square over top of a square icon. I'm going to tap that and I can actually select multiple things. 1, 2, 3. I can select up to 10 different things out of my camera roll and I can add them as a carousel. So if I did that and then I tap next, it simply allows me to kind of swipe through each one and see what they are, and then I can modify them. Now I'm going to click back and just discard that, and I'm going to get rid of that and just choose the one. And I also can hit that little expansion icon on the left middle of the screen, and it will make it look a little bit more full bleed or whatever for Instagram. I'm going to tap next. And then this next screen, this is the second screen, is where you can kind of modify or adjust the image. I can change the exposure. I can add filters and play with it a little bit. I'm not going to mess with it now. I'm going to tap next. And then I enter the last screen, which is where I give it a caption. It's where I can tag other users. It's where I can set a location. It's where I can make sure it automatically syncs over to other connected Facebook accounts and pages. This is where I give it all the extra details that support the media itself. So an IG post, it could be an image, it could be a video, or it could be a combination called a carousel. That's an IG post from start to finish. All right, now that's a post. I'm going to swipe over our little toolbar to story, and let's talk about how to do an Instagram story. And this would be a very good training in terms of how we do reels, because you'll find that reels function a lot like story, just in terms of what buttons do what. So first thing to point out to you is that right-hand side toolbar. There's a capital A and a lowercase a little infinity sign, a little layout tool, and then an expansion list. If I tap that the capital letter lowercase a, it actually goes into create mode where I just have a solid background. And I can do like questions or all kinds of fun little things here. I can tag people. This is just called create mode. And if I want to go back to the last screen, I just hit that little X that's laid over top of the capital A and the lowercase a like so. And then I'm back to the screen. Now, I've got some other tools. The little infinity sign is what's called a boomerang. It's kind of a short looping backwards and forwards video. You might have heard of those. I click the X to get rid of it. And then this one's a layout where I can actually have a grid or a layout of different videos and photos, so to speak, in my stories. I can also tap the X to get rid of it. Now, on the lower left-hand sidebar, I actually see like a little image, like a thumbnail of my camera roll, so I can actually select this. And it brings up all the photos stored in the camera roll of my device. So for example, I could choose an image or I could choose a video. Videos can be up to 15 seconds per story. I could actually do a 60-second video and Instagram would automatically divide it into 15-second chunks. So they will automatically play in a rotation. So I have those options too. Now in this case, just to make it easy, I'm going to choose the image we used before. But you'll notice it's actually a full bleed vertical image. So by default, Instagram posts like squares or 4:3s or different aspect ratios. But stories are full bleed vertical. You might recall that when I showed you through the stories feed, it actually takes over the full bleed vertical dimensions of my entire device. So a story is what's called a 9:16 aspect ratio. Basically, it means it's in the shape of an iPhone. Okay, so I've got some options in here. We'll start with some easy filters. I can actually swipe my thumb from right to left or left to right, and I can toggle through different filters. Paris, Los Angeles, and there's a whole bunch of filters. Some of them are black and white. Some of them make it look funky. And I can just modify the color like that if I want to, or I can take it all the way back and I end up back at normal. I'm going to leave it at normal. So that's one option, is filters on your stories. Next thing I'll draw your eye to is the toolbar arrayed across the top. It's got a couple of things. I'm going to start with the capital A and lowercase a. So I can superimpose text, and I've got different fonts that I can pick from with the text. So we'll do this one. I'll say type something like that. And then I can say done, and I can tap the text again and edit it. I can hit the color wheel, and I can change its color. I can choose one of these colors, or I can hit the eyedropper, and I can do whatever I want, make it match my shirt. And then if I want to add a drop shadow or some effects, I can tap this middle icon with the little stars around the capital A. And then finally, if I tap that last capital A, it actually adds an animation. And the animations are unique to each of the different fonts. So I can add text to my stories. I click done, and I can grab the text, I can move it around, make it smaller, bigger, turn it, whatever I want. So type something. What a call to action. If I don't like it, I simply grab it and I drag it to the trash can and it's gone. The next icon on that toolbar is like a little peeling sticker icon, and there's a lot of goodies in here. So they add new stickers, but some of them are called interactive stickers. So you might have heard the term called interactive story stickers. Well, they also make them for Reels. So now they're just called interactive stickers, meaning people can interact with them. I can tag a location. I can mention somebody like Tom Ferry. I can tap it and change the way it looks. So just tap it, tap it, tap it, and I can make it look different, smaller, whatever, drag it, delete it. I can use the question sticker to hear what's on the mind of buyers and sellers in my marketplace. I can add animated GIFs. I can add music. I can add lots of stuff here. I can scroll through. There's emojis. There's interactive things. There's custom stickers. There are just stickers, stickers, stickers. I can search for whatever I want. Stickers, stickers, stickers. Cancel that. When I'm done with it, I simply pull the tray down, and then the next icon is the 3 stars. These are additional effects. I can tap that, and I can swipe through this little footer in the bottom, and there's all kinds of effects that people make, and it's almost like an app store. There are so many effects that you can search through and add, and some effects become trending and all kinds of stuff. So effects are that last layer for your stories. I'm going to tap done. And then the final option in our toolbar is that little dot, 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 the ellipses. I tap that, and it gives me 2 options. I can draw or save. So save just means download whatever I made into my camera roll as is. And then draw means I can actually draw stuff. I can make the line thicker or less thick. I can change its color. I can use the eyedropper to make it match my shirt. I can make it have an arrow like that. I can make it, stand out like that. I can do lots of stuff. I can click undo if I don't like what I did and then click done. You have lots of tools. I could even just hold my thumb down and change the color of the entire screen if I want to using the draw tool. And then I could click the eraser and I could erase certain things that I might want to. I don't know why I would want to do that. Looks like an ice cream sundae. Anyways, that's how you use Instagram stories. Next on our list of different types of posts on Instagram is the reel itself. The reel is going to be a lot like stories. So the parts that are like stories, I'm going to remind you of that since we already went through stories. And then the parts that are different, I'll call to your attention. Now in reels, we're going to go through 3 different screens, kind of like Instagram post. This first screen is what we call the video capture. So I may have videos that I've already recorded in my camera roll that I just want to upload. We'll talk about that. Or I may want to capture the videos like right here, like looking at the camera, and I want to record it. That's the first screen. The second screen is going to be where we put all of our video clips together. It's the actual editor of the videos. So again, I can grab different clips, and then the second screen is I can put those clips together like an editor. And then the last screen is basically adding your caption, hashtags, things like that. Okay, so the first screen is this video capture. You may want to capture your own video. You may want to upload something. Let's pretend you want to upload a video that you already recorded. In the lower left-hand corner, I tap that little thumbnail of my recent images on my phone. So I tap that little thumbnail and it shows me all the videos and photos that are inside my phone's camera roll once again. So I'm going to grab just a random video. Here's an 11-second video. Maybe I only want 10 seconds. Well, I can trim it to be about 10 seconds long, just like so. It's close enough for, I nailed it. 10 seconds on the nose. And then when I'm good with that, I can just say add. And then it adds it into the clips. Now, you don't see it here because I'm still in the creation section. But if I click next, it will show me that I have that clip. And then if I click the back arrow in the top left, I go back to the creation section. And I can just say like, add another clip like this, me talking or whatever. And now I've got 2 clips. And also you see that little pink circle kind of going around. That tells me how much of my available time I'm using up with all my clips combined. You have a 90-second limit. So once again, I tap next, and then I can see my clips. I can click edit clips, and I can actually mess with them. I can reorder them, do whatever I want with them. Okay, let's click done, and then let's go back. Okay, so here we are back in the creator section of making the video clips. Let's look at that right-hand toolbar. I'm going to give you kind of a quick flyover of what's there. First one there is our sound library. So you can get trending music, trending sounds, whatever that you can use while you make your videos inside the app. The next one says 1x. I have the ability to speed up or slow down my footage. So I can make a slow motion video or like a hyperlapse video. The next one looks like a grid, and it is. I can choose a layout, kind of like with our Instagram post, where it's got photos or videos, kind of in different arrangements. The next one looks like a stopwatch, and that one's super cool. It's a timer. And so it gives me the ability to say like, hey, I need this clip to only be 3.65 seconds or something random like that. And then it will automatically start and stop on my mark. So it's like a stopwatch. And the last icon there is kind of a square over top of a perforated square. That's so that if I'm doing multiple video clips and I want to make sure I line myself or the subject of my video up with where it left off in the last clip, it can actually kind of show me those together so I can get them to kind of intersect properly so the clips sequence one to the next properly. You may or may not ever use that tool, but those are the tools in the actual video creation section of Instagram Reels. So let's click next and we'll go see our clips together for a second. I click next, and again, I can edit the clips. I can add transitions between the clips. I can reorder the clips. I can trim the clips. I've got a lot of capabilities here in this editor section. I'm going to click done. And then I have another toolbar across the top. I've got a downward pointing arrow to save the video to my device's camera roll. I've got music where I can add trending sounds and trending music. We'll talk more about that later. I've got stars icons where I can add special effects. I can make it look like it's snowing or whatever I want. I've got that same stickers icon that we had before with stories, and I can add subtitles, captions, polls, swipe meters, and all kinds of different interactive elements over top of my Instagram reel. I've got the little squiggly line to draw, and then I can also add text over top of it, and it has the same text options as the Instagram stories. And then finally, I can tap next, and I go to our last screen, the third screen, where I basically polish off the reel itself. Starting with, it says edit cover over top of me, and I can actually choose what's going to be the screen grab that we use for this video. Okay, so I can choose that. I've got these options for cover versus profile grid, so I can actually make it look different in different places because it might show up on my grid, it might show up in a feed, whatever. I want to be prepared for either way. I could also, if I have somebody make a professional cover image, that last option says add from camera roll, so you can actually upload an image that you want to use as your cover. When you're satisfied, you click done, and then you can add your caption. We'll talk about that later. You can tag people, you can rename your audio, you can tag a location, and you have all these different tools, just like with your post, in terms of where is this going to post and how's it going to show up and what's all the supporting material. That's Instagram Reels. And then our last option is we toggle over to live, and live is live. Once I tap that button, I'm going to go live, and people are going to see me live. When somebody is live, it actually shows them as live in the stories feed, only they go to the front of the line, so there's actually a hack. If you want to get discovered more often, going live is a really great practice to making sure that you get seen by a lot of people. We can talk more about that later. I've got some basic tools on the right-hand sidebar. I can add some filters and effects just like I could with stories or reels. And then one to point out to you is that calendar icon on the right-hand sidebar, which allows me to schedule a live for a specific time, which is a very unique feature on Instagram in particular. I can also let other people come into my live streams with me. So live, suffice it to say, is a great practice, and it really makes Instagram pleased with you because it's so engaging for your followers. So that's Instagram in a nutshell. It's post, it's stories, it's reels, it's live. It's not just social media, it's social multimedia.
Little new stuff in there I never noticed. Okay, so we have so far this year collected. It's wrong. I think it's no. It should have been 1,015. I'm all that's not right. It's 1,015. And the new balance is $7,044. And mastermind next week with Will at 9 a.m. I don't. Yeah, they don't usually tell me till the last minute. Pickleball. Yeah, I think well, you know, like this week, Steve kind of put out, you know, like, hey, is there something that anybody wants to talk about? And then that's what we did. So next Friday, we have the team meeting, and we're going to have a speaker, Cyberbacker, up here, which is, I believe it's like software that helps you, it's kind of like an assistant,
Actually, Cyberbacker is virtual assistants.
right? It's like having an
It's-
assistant,
it's-
right?
it's-
Yeah.
Yeah, but and it's pretty cool.
And then April 7th, there is no team meeting, I won't be here, you guys might be here, but office is closed for Good Friday. And then the 14th, we have Big Bear Vacations, and the 21st, we have Hector Lopez from the National Hazard Disclosures. So we have a few weeks where we have some speakers coming in. And any needs and wants? No.
Oh, well, we have a new listing coming on the market. The address is 822 West Country Club. It's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath gambrel. It's a nice open floor plan for a gambrel. They opened up the stairway, so when you walk in, it's very open. There's also a non-permitted casita in the back. That's like a studio. It's got a kitchen, shower, bathroom, living room, and beds in it. It's very cute, but it's not permitted. We're just about done getting the stage. We're gonna be shooting photos hopefully this weekend or Monday. But in the meantime, we're gonna put you wanna reach out to Janelle or myself, we've got there's a key code for the door. And it's the last 4 digits of Janelle's phone number, so you have to look up Janelle's phone number. I can share it with you right now, 0171. And there's gonna be a sheet in there, and if you guys wanna go over, take a look at it and write down your price opinion, we would love it. And if you get back to us, we'll put a drawing in and bring you back something from Greece. So, but yeah, if you guys could do something like that between now and Monday. It's not gonna hit the market until next week sometime. So this will give you a first shot at it. I'm thinking in the low 3s. It's really cute, well done, remodeled. 822 West Country Club.
They remodeled it since they bought it.
No, actually, it was pretty much remodeled when they bought it, but they've done some upgrades to it.
What was the code?
0171 is the door code. There's nobody living there right now. Try to take your shoes off when you go inside. The floors just got cleaned. And I'll have a price opinion sheet on the table that I will need you guys to sign and write your price opinion down for us, please.
Is that how you're gonna be figuring out the price?
I have an idea. The seller has his own idea. But I would like to, be able to have a consensus with my constituents regarding pricing when we have our discussion again regarding pricing with the seller. The seller is a longtime client of ours, and he's always that guy who figures we'll start high and work our way down. And that always just delays the process of selling these properties. So we'd love your help, and also we'll give you first dibs on it. So, with the inventory being low right now, it's a really cute turnkey house. And yeah, it's a good opportunity for everybody.
We can show it as soon as tomorrow.
It's not publicly on the market yet. Guys can take a look at it, take video, take pictures, share it with your clients. I would recommend not showing it until it, comes close to hitting the market within the day or so. But this way, maybe it'll give you a firsthand with your clients to say, look, this one's just hitting the market. No one knows about it really, except our office. And get some excitement on it.
I have a new listing too. It'll be live on Thursday. It's 229 Rodeo. It's really cute. 2006 build, 3 and 3, really large garage. Probably fit 4 cars in it. It's a 2-car, but like super deep. Backs some vacant land. It's a large parcel of vacant land, so it is owned by somebody. It's over at the end of the street, over off East Big Bear Boulevard in Rodeo. It'll be listed at $799, and furnishings are high end and really nice, and it'll be negotiable.
Very good. Ooh,
Anybody else?
I like it that you priced it below the 8.
I think that's it. We have no tour this week due to the last little snow.
No.
So,
How's everybody in Arrowhead doing?
Jen, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, we got about 3.5 feet. Our office is slow right now. It was bouncing back, but now we've got more snow, so it's gonna take a little bit for this little community to bounce back. School went in today, but not for the Christian school. They're still buried. Twin Peaks is pretty bad. I'm actually been coming up to Big Bear and showing property because Arrowhead is kind of inaccessible. So that's what I've been doing. And I think we're just all waiting for Mr. Sunshine to do his work. And just trying to build up our skill set and everything like that. That's about it. I mean, it's just kind of overwhelming. The donations and everything have kind of come to a halt as far as that goes. The handouts, I mean, a few churches are still doing the food handouts. I'm basically back to square one with this 3.5, 4 feet. I mean, we've got a lot of digging out to do.
Yeah. Well, we wish you the best down there. I was down there, like I said, on Monday, and I couldn't believe how much snow was still down there after the rain and the warm weather that we had.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it's not going away anytime soon. I mean, I went into Running Springs yesterday and thank goodness the mail was open. But you can't even see the buildings. You can't see the stores. You can't see the banks. You can't see much. You know, it's like we need some big trucks to truck that stuff out, but I think it's because it's all private, like in front of Jensen's, in front of, you know, the little shops and stuff. It's not like a county, you know, issue. So yeah, I mean, we're trying to keep positive.
Well, spring is just around the corner for you.
Amen. Amen.
All right. Anybody else online have any needs or wants? Nope. Alrighty. I think we're gonna wrap it up, guys. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.